What is going on, guys? SteelDude11 here. I'm back with another video. Um I'm back with the me being like serious sports related kind of video instead of like the goofy stuff I kind of do, because in the kind of society that we're dealing with right now, it's kind of difficult to be able to talk about sports. But for the past few days, to get rid of that drought, we had the NFL draft. It started back on Thursday and then it ended, well, it's after midnight, so yesterday. And this year's draft was different because it was supposed to be in Las Vegas, because the the Raiders are in Las Vegas now. You know, it's supposed to be like this whole, like, it was in the Raiders stadium. Like, everybody's just like there, a whole bunch of people of every a fan of every NFL team, especially the Raiders, which would make sense. And this year was different because of COVID-19 going around affecting the world. It has been for the past month. They had to have the NFL draft a little differently this year. It was virtual. Basically, every NFL head coach, GM, any part of that drafting process had to work from home. They couldn't be in the war room. Roger Goodell had to announce the picks from his house. It's just weird, It's different, but in my opinion, I think they did do a good job for the replacement, because let's just hope that next year in 2021 it'll be back to regular. Because next year the draft's going to be in Cleveland. Then Roger Goodell announced that the 2022 draft will be in Las Vegas because this year it couldn't. So basically, this video is just going to be talking about just how I felt the draft went, players that shocked me where they went, stuff that didn't surprise me, how I felt the Steelers did, how I felt other teams did, and stuff like that. So this is probably going to be a bit of a longer video, but it's alright. Talk about what I thought the draft went this year. So I'll just start off talking about every first round pick. See if I felt like there were any, it made sense, or it was obvious, or some like surprising stuff, like, oh, they drafted this guy for some reason. Alright. So the first round, there's always 32 picks. Some teams don't get to pick in the first draft. Steelers were one of them. I think for the first time in a very long time, the Steelers didn't have a first-round pick, because our first-round pick was Minkah Fitzpatrick, let's be honest. I would prefer a experienced NFL player instead of a rookie who's never played in the NFL before. But anyway, so with the first pick, the Bengals selected Joe Burrow, quarterback from LSU. That was obvious. Everybody knew that he was going to go first, because the Bengals, Andy Dalton's not the answer. All their backups aren't either. They went 2-14 last year despite having their new head coach. So hopefully, I have a feeling that Joe Burrow being there, they're not. Thing is that just because they have a new quarterback doesn't mean that they're automatically going to be a playoff team, because they'll still have players that aren't good. I think the Bengals could be like a 6-10 team maybe. And then who knows? All right, with the second pick, the Washington Redskins selected Chase Young, defensive end from Ohio State. That was obvious. It was clear they were going to pick that. It would help for them to have some help on defense. they don't need a quarterback as of right now. Dwayne Haskins, he just needs to learn his place. And if Alex Smith comes back, I don't know if he will or not because of his whole leg injury. With the third pick, the Detroit Lions selected Jeff Okudah, cornerback from Ohio State. I predicted the Lions picking him. The Lions could need some help on defense, especially since they just traded away Darius Slay to the Eagles. So hopefully Jeff Okudah will be a good help for them. With the fourth pick, New York Giants selected Andrew Thomas, a tackle from Georgia. This was a bit of a surprising pick, which, I mean, if you're a Giants fan, it probably isn't surprising because the Giants, for the past couple of years, have been known to have terrible first-round picks. Of course, Daniel Jones ended up working out. The Giants need defensive players. I don't think their O-line has been an issue, but it could have been fixed. If they want to have some O-line, they could have drafted it later because their biggest concern right now is defense. But right away, they went with an offensive tackle, which doesn't make sense to me. If you're a Giants fan, then let me know how you feel about this pick. I have a friend who's a Giants fan who did not like that pick at all. With the fifth pick, the Miami Dolphins selected Tua Tagovailoa, quarterback from Alabama. That was a good pick. The Dolphins needed a quarterback. I don't think they should be able to depend on Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's been in the league for so long, has never been good. He's been to like 10 different teams. With the sixth pick, the LA Chargers selected Justin Herbert, quarterback from Utah. I'm sorry, not Utah, Oregon. I don't know why I said Utah. But Chargers, it's probably a good idea for them to pick a quarterback after they traded away. After they released Phillip Rivers. So they're going to start off fresh with someone young. I don't know if they will start Justin Herbert immediately. They might just look how they do in training, camp, and practice. It's either going to be him or Tyrod Taylor who will start. And I don't think Tyrod Taylor will be good because he's been to the Bills and the Browns and now the Chargers. Hasn't been good at any of them. With the seventh pick, the Carolina Panthers selected Derek Brown, a defensive tackle from Auburn. That was a pretty good pick for the Panthers. Because I know that the Panthers have been having troubles on defense, especially since, they've had that huge drought of just continuously losing games, and then a quarterback. They don't need a quarterback because they acquired Teddy Bridgewater, which would make sense why Bridgewater left because, he was hoping that he would be Drew Brees' replacement, but Drew Brees just signed a 2-year contract, so. I know he wants to start, so he goes to a team that needs a quarterback, and the Panthers are it, because I have a feeling the Cam Newton days are over for the Panthers. All right, with the 8th pick, the Arizona Cardinals selected Isaiah Simmons, a linebacker from Clemson. I just think it's funny because from all the coaches drafted from their houses, Cliff Kingsbury, his house came a little bit of a meme because he had this huge house that looked like a mansion kind of thing. People were joking about it. Some people even made Lego figurines about it. It was pretty funny actually. But Isaiah Simmons, that's a good pick. The Cardinals do need some help on defense. And with the 9th pick, the Jaguars selected C.J. Henderson, a cornerback from Florida. The thing is that with these picks, I won't know too much about it because because the only picks I really focus on are the Steelers because we really need that guy because stuff like that. It would make sense for the Jaguars. Their defense has been a bit atrocious since Saxonville. Because Saxonville is gone. It's been dead for the past few years. With With the 10th pick, the Cleveland Browns selected Jedrick Wills, a tackle from Alabama. It would help for the Browns to have some O-line help. With the 11th pick, the New York Jets selected Mekhi Becton, an offensive tackle from Louisville. I think I'm just gonna speed through some of these because I don't know too much about it. If I do know stuff about a pick, then I'll talk about it. With the 12th pick, the Las Vegas Raiders selected Henry Ruggs III, a wide receiver from Alabama. That's a good pick. I know the Raiders do need some help with their receivers. You know, because they don't have the best receivers in the league. Let's just say that. The 49ers were supposed to have the 13th pick, but they traded it to the Buccaneers. And with that pick, the Buccaneers selected Tristan Wirfs, a tackle from Iowa. Would help get some O-line help to protect Tom Brady. Then the 49ers selected Javon Kinlaw, a defensive tackle from South Carolina. 49ers already have a pretty good defensive line. And good thing they drafted him ever since the 49ers traded away DeForest Buckner to the Indianapolis Colts. So that would be his replacement, I guess. With the 15th pick, Denver Broncos selected Jerry Jeudy, a wide receiver from Alabama. Jerry Jeudy has been a really good wide receiver. The Broncos do need some help with their receivers, so that would be a good start. With the 16th pick, the Atlanta Falcons selected A.J. Terrell, a cornerback from Clemson. Falcons already have a good enough offense. Their defense could use some work. I mean, the Falcons did have a big recovery last year. I mean, they were 3-9, and then they ended up finishing 7-9 after they seemed terrible. With the 17th pick, the Dallas Cowboys selected CeeDee Lamb, a wide receiver from Oklahoma. That was a smart pick. Give another person for Dak to throw it to. He already has Michael Gallup. He already has Amari Cooper. If you add CeeDee Lamb into the mix, that could be a powerful offense. And also they do need to get their offense going. With the 18th pick, the Miami Dolphins selected Austin Jackson, a tackle from USC. This was supposed to be the Steelers' pick, but it's the Dolphins because the Steelers traded that pick for Minka. The 19th pick, the Las Vegas Raiders selected Damon Arnett, cornerback from Ohio State. That was a little bit of a surprise. Not a lot of people expected that they were going to make this kind of pick this early. With the 20th pick, the Jacksonville Jaguars selected Clavon Chasen. I don't know how to say his name. I might sound like an idiot, but I don't know how to pronounce his name. Edge rusher from LSU. This was supposed to be the Rams pick, but the Rams traded to the Jaguars for Jalen Ramsey. With the 21st pick, the Philadelphia Eagles selected Jalen Reagor, a wide receiver from TCU. The Philadelphia Eagles did need a wide receiver, but this might not have been a receiver that they would want. I feel like they probably should have picked Justin Jefferson or Denzel Mims instead of Jalen Reagor, but it is what it is. I mean, I'm not an Eagles fan. I don't care about that. With 22nd pick, the Minnesota Vikings selected Justin Jefferson, a wide receiver from LSU. This was supposed to be the Bills' pick, but they traded it to the Vikings for Stephon Diggs. And I guess the Vikings used this pick good because Justin Jefferson is going to be the replacement for Stephon Diggs. With the 23rd pick, for the 23rd pick, the Patriots traded it to the Chargers, and with that, the Chargers selected Kenneth Murray, a linebacker from Oklahoma. With the 24th pick, the New Orleans Saints selected Cesar Ruiz, a center from Michigan. This was another thing I'll do is that I'll talk about the Michigan players that got drafted because I'm a Michigan fan, and I'll also talk about other big players as well, like quarterbacks and that kind of stuff. The 25th pick, the Vikings traded the 25th pick to the 49ers. So with that, the 49ers selected Brandon Ayuk, or however you say his last name, a wide receiver from Arizona State. That'll be a good replacement for Emmanuel Sanders. Brandon Ayuk was a very talented receiver at Arizona State. Their best receiver from 2019, ever since N'Keal Harry left. For the 26th pick, the Miami Dolphins traded to the Green Bay Packers, and the Green Bay Packers, the biggest shock of the first round, selects Jordan Love, quarterback from Utah State. Now, why the heck would the Green Bay Packers select a quarterback in the first round? Why would they select a quarterback at all? I mean, yeah, I understand that Aaron Rodgers is getting old, but I don't think you'd want to select a quarterback this early. The Packers really needed to draft a wide receiver, but instead they went with a quarterback. That was a bit of a weird draft pick for the Packers, and I know Packers fans weren't happy about that. With the 27th pick, the Seattle Seahawks selected Jordan Brooks, a linebacker from Texas Tech. With the 28th pick, the Baltimore Ravens selected Patrick Queen, a linebacker from LSU. That was a good pick. The Baltimore Ravens have a good defense, but the only position they struggle with was linebacker. So maybe that will help out. With the 29th pick, the Tennessee Titans selected Isaiah Wilson, a tackle from Georgia. 30th pick, the Packers traded it to the Dolphins. So with that, the Dolphins drafted Noah. I don't know how to say his last name. Cornerback from Auburn. You probably know what I'm talking about. With the 31st pick, the 49ers traded it to the Minnesota Vikings. And with that, the Vikings selected Jeff Gladney, a cornerback from TCU. And then with the final pick of the first round, the Kansas City Chiefs selected Clyde Edwards-Helaire, a running back from LSU. Good decision for the Chiefs to select a running back. They've been having some running back issues ever since they booted Kareem Hunt. Now I know that guy they had who played in the Super Bowl, I can't remember his name, was really good. But I guess they also want another guy, too. So, the biggest shock of the first round was that the Packers selected a quarterback, and it was Jordan Love. Some people don't think that Julian Love is going to be a good replacement for Tom Brady, for Aaron Rodgers whenever he decides to retire. All right, so now I'm going to go over the Steelers draft picks. I just got to get it set up. Okay. All right, so here we are. According to NFL.com, the Steelers needed a cornerback, a defensive lineman, a linebacker, an offensive lineman, and a wide receiver, which it seems strange that the majority of the Steelers' needs were on defense because the Steelers' defense was pretty good, but the offense was really bad. And I'm glad that the majority of the Steelers' picks were on offense. So, with the Steelers' first pick, with the 49th pick, the Steelers selected Chase Claypool, a wide receiver from Notre Dame. Now, I am very excited about this pick. Now, I know that seems weird because I'm a Michigan fan and I'm against Notre Dame, but I've seen Chase Claypool play because I watch Notre Dame sometimes because, you know, they're a local team because South Bend is only about 20 minutes away from where I live. I even went to a Notre Dame game with a friend, and Chase Claypool did very good in that game. It was when Notre Dame played Navy last season. I have a feeling he's going to be we have great wide receivers with Juju, Deontay Johnson, James Washington. I feel like Chase Claypool will be a great addition to that offense. With the 102nd pick, they selected Alex Highsmith, an edge rusher from Charlotte. And then with the 124th pick, they selected Anthony McFarland, a running back from Maryland. So the Steelers decided to select a running back, and I feel like that is a good decision because the Steelers have been having problems with running backs. James Conner keeps getting hurt. He always gets hurt, and then the game he comes back, he gets hurt again. James Conner is a good running back. He just can't stay healthy. He just keeps getting hurt. And then Jalen Samuels is a good running back too, but I feel like Anthony McFarland will also be good. And then Benny Snell's got in trouble with some drugs or something. With the 135th pick, they selected Kevin Dotson, a guard from Louisiana. I wanted the Steelers to draft an offensive lineman at some point, and Kevin Dotson is a good pick. He could be on another guard along with David DeCastro, so we all know that's going to be good. Then with the 198th pick, they selected Antoine Brooks Jr., a safety from Maryland. And then with the 232nd pick, their last pick, they selected Carlos Davis, a defensive tackle from Nebraska. So we selected 3 offensive players and 3 defensive players. I had 6 picks in total. So all in all, I think the Steelers had a good draft this year. They did seem to make the right choices. So, I don't know why I keep doing that. Alright, I'm going to hold this with my left hand now so I can use my right hand to hold the mouse. So, let me just look through and talk about second round things. Clemson wide receiver T. Higgins went to the Bengals. DeAndre Swift went to the Lions. Jonathan Taylor went to the Colts. KJ Hamler went to the Broncos. Grant Delpit went to the Browns. Trayvon Diggs, Stephon Diggs' younger brother, went to the Cowboys. And one of the weirdest picks of the second round, the Philadelphia Eagles drafted Jalen Hurts. Now, I knew Jalen Hurts was going to get drafted, but I'm a bit surprised that he got drafted by the Eagles because the Eagles, they don't really need a quarterback. They have Carson Wentz, and I know Eagles fans are a bit comfortable with Nate Sudfeld, and I have a feeling that I know Eagles fans weren't happy with the Jalen Hurts pick. J.K. Dobbins went to the Ravens, which I thought was funny that he went from one rival team to another. Denzel Mims went to the Jets. Alright, now I'm going to go through and talk about all the Michigan players that got drafted. So, of all the Michigan players that went into the draft, Shea Patterson, Sean McCune, and Lavert Hill went undrafted. And for Shea Patterson, I'm not surprised he didn't get drafted. I already talked about Cesar Ruiz. Then the second round, Michigan linebacker Josh Uche went to the Patriots. I just gotta find another one. Because I wish there was like this feature where I could like search like picks by the college, like what college there might be, and I'm just stupid and I don't realize it, but it is what it is, I guess. Okay, then with Michigan guard Ben Bredesen got drafted to the Ravens, which he went from my favorite team to a rival team, so that's pretty funny. Michigan linebacker Khaleke Hudson got drafted to the Redskins. Michigan edge rusher Michael Dana went to the Chiefs. Michigan guard Michael Onwenu went to the Patriots. So the Patriots selected 2 Michigan players. Michigan wide receiver Donovan Peoples-Jones went to the Browns, which Donovan Peoples-Jones was the Michigan player I was most curious about where he was going. Michigan guard John Runyon went to the Packers. And the Michigan safety Josh Metellus went to the Vikings. And the Michigan linebacker Jordan Glasgow went to the Colts. I think those were all of the Michigan players that got drafted. Yeah. So another shock of the draft this year was that the New England Patriots did not draft a quarterback, and that was actually one of their needs. The Patriots needed to draft a quarterback, but they decided not to. So I'm guessing that they are comfortable with Jarrett Stidham and Brian Hoyer, one of them being their starter this next season instead of drafting a quarterback. They decided not to. I don't know how Patriots fans feel about them not drafting a quarterback. I know that my friend Player One Gaming, he's a Patriots fan. He's not happy that the Patriots didn't draft a quarterback. Now, let me think of other quarterbacks. Jacob Eason, the Washington quarterback, got drafted to the Colts. Jake Fromm, the Georgia quarterback, got drafted to the Bills. Nate Stanley, the Iowa quarterback, got drafted to the Vikings. Were those all the quarterbacks? No, I know there were more. Hold on. I'm gonna look through and see what quarterbacks that I haven't mentioned yet where they went to, cuz who they were and where they went, because right now I cannot remember anybody else besides the ones I just said, and I know that there were more. I mean, mainly I remember the guy, I just don't remember what his name was. That's the thing. Yeah, I already talked about okay. Another quarterback, James Morgan, a quarterback from Florida International, got drafted to the Jets. That was in the 4th round. In the 5th round, were there any quarterbacks drafted? Because there weren't any quarterbacks drafted in the 3rd round. Were there any drafted in the 5th round? Yeah, Jake Fromm. But I already talked about him. He was the only 5th round quarterback. In the 6th round, Jake Luton, the quarterback from Oregon State, got drafted to the Jaguars. That's the 6th round, and then the 7th round, and I think there were more than one. I know there were more than one quarterback that was drafted in the 7th round. Cole McDonald, quarterback from Hawaii, got drafted to the Titans. Ben DiNucci, quarterback from James Madison, got drafted to the Cowboys. Tommy Stevens, a quarterback from Mississippi State, got drafted to the Saints. I already talked about Nate Stanley. Malcolm Perry, the quarterback from Navy, got drafted to the Dolphins, but they're gonna play him as a wide receiver. But I said that because he was a quarterback at Navy. And that's basically everything. So for Michigan, the only of all the Michigan players that went to the draft, that tried out for it. Shea Patterson, Sean McEwen, Lavert Hill did not get drafted. Everybody else did. I would say overall this is a pretty it was an interesting experience because it was different. Of course, the draft was good for some and not good for others. If you're like a Packers or an Eagles fan, you're probably irritated that they would draft a quarterback that early or at all. Instead of them, I knew that Jordan Love and Jalen Hurts were going to get drafted, but I thought they were going to go to teams that needed a quarterback. I didn't think that they would go to like the Packers and the Eagles. The Packers, yes, Aaron Rodgers is old. He's been in the league since 2005. But he's not retiring yet. It's not like he's going to retire next year. He might. I don't know. It's his decision. So I would wait till next year to draft a quarterback because you know he's going to play this year. And why would the Packers draft a quarterback but the Patriots not? The Patriots of anybody needed a quarterback ever since they needed a quarterback to hopefully be a good replacement for Tom Brady. But Bill Belichick felt like that Jarrett Stidham is the answer, I guess. So if the Patriots are terrible next year, then you know why. ESPN said that the Steelers needed a quarterback, which we have enough, but the problem is that Ben is old, and Mason Rudolph, Devlin Hodges are not good. We also have Paxton Lynch, but he never played last year. So that's basically all that happened in the draft. It has been nice to make a video because it's been a while. I am holding off a bit to do my football predictions for Michigan and the Steelers because I am still uncertain if there's going to be a season in 2020. And if we're not even sure there's going to be a season, then what's the point of doing one until I'm absolutely sure? So until we're told that there's definitely going to be a season, I am not going to do predictions. So I'm going to hold off on that. I might do some other things. I think I'm going to record a System of a Down tier list video because I did make one a long time ago, but I privated it because my opinion has greatly changed. So I'm going to do it again, and I hope it's good. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. This has been a longer video than usual. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not already, and I want to thank you guys for the amount of subscribers I've gained. I've gained a lot of subscribers in the past month because I think I'm at 27 right now, and and about a few weeks ago I was at 20, so I gained 7 subscribers. That may not seem like much, but as a low kind of YouTuber I am, it is a lot. I mean, because you always see these people like, oh, we gain like 1,000 subscribers a day or something. I'm like, yeah, I'm not like that. I only get like once in a blue moon a new person will subscribe. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. And next time I decide to upload, I don't know if it's going to be a silly video or a serious video, whatever it is. I will see you next time. Goodbye.